Hoops Fest coming up next. It's going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers up against the New York Knicks. And that's a wrap for me here in the studio. Now let's send you out to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke. I'll see you again at halftime.
Ready for action are the Knicks. Welcome, everyone. This is what you've been waiting for. The NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, joined by Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. We've got a chance now for our starting lineups from point guard to center. This game should be a good one. First, for the Cavaliers, Kyrie Irving is out there with Dwayne Wade. And they've got LaMarcus Aldridge, the former number 2 pick out of Texas, standing tall in the middle at 6'11". And it's LeBron James. And it's White in at the 4-man position. And for the Knicks. And at the pivot, a terrific defender and all-around player, the Australian sensation, 7-footer Andrew Bogut. Then there's Beasley, and it's Fareed in at the 4.
You know, for a long time, the Knicks were viewed as a young team on the rise, but when they added Rasheed Wallace last year, the average age went to 32, which was the oldest team in the league last season. And you saw it in their play. They were a group of veterans out there.
And for the Knicks, the veteran leadership helped them at times as they had to go through some very tough stretches, Steve, due to injury.
Yeah, they did go through some stretches, but they really did well to secure the division title and get that high seed going into the playoffs. They had a pretty decent run, all in all, but this is a team that has higher aspirations than just getting to the conference semis.
You know, his ability is matched only by his energy, guys. I mean, he's usually in the middle of everything for his team.
Paul gets a screen from Bogut. Paul is double. Pass to Childress. Beasley right side. LaMarcus Aldridge grabs the miss.
Boy, for my taste, he's far too inconsistent with that shot. I mean, he's got to make those if he's going to take his game to the next level. What's interesting for me to watch with Mike Woodson as head coach in New York is the exciting floor spacing offense they started playing last season. In Atlanta, he'd been known for a grinded out isolation play style, but has actually tweaked his approach a little bit, and that's been impressive.
The free throw drops for Aldridge. And back to Mike Woodson, not a flashier, high-maintenance type of personality. He keeps it on the level, and I think, Steve, the players appreciate that.
Players definitely like that. He's very quiet on the sidelines, but not afraid to get in your face when necessary. And I think that's a really good temperament for a coach to have. In general, I think he's a guy who is very well respected around the league and did an excellent job with New York a season ago.
Well, one of the struggles for a young team is figuring out how to win on the road. And winning on the road is not just execution, it's preparation and mindset. And young teams struggle to put that together, and the Cavs were certainly a team that struggled with that.
Now here is Bogut. Clock at 6. Another shot rejected by Aldridge. Fareed against LeBron, and the shot is good. LeBron's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Dropped that one in as soft as a feather using the finger roll.
For the Cavaliers, being young was a big problem, and not having much luck with injuries was another. But, Steve, it can be tough to score points when you're on the road, and they struggle with that in a big way.
Well, they would end up in the bottom 5 in scoring last year while on the road, and that did them no favors. And defense, I mean, that was another issue. They couldn't stop anybody. So you combine bad offense, bad defense, going on the road, you're in some trouble.
The Knicks shooting their first free throw of the night here.
Yeah, very average shooting team in terms of the free throw line, about 76% a year ago.
a lot of high hopes for the Knicks in last year's playoffs. They started off so hot, but then let the series against Boston drag on, and eventually went to 7 games, and they fell to the Pacers in the second round after that.
Good defense, but you gotta love the finish with the finger roll over the top.
Just about 2 minutes into the game, first quarter of basketball. Here's Paul. Lays it up and banks it in. Paul's got his first bucket of the night. And the Boston series did drag on, you could tell. You wonder if they were a bit fatigued going into that Pacers series. Steve, Indiana just outplayed him, outworked him in every way in the second round.
Yeah, I think it was a factor, Kevin, and really the Knicks have only themselves to blame. They had Boston down 3-1 and a home game to close it out, but they couldn't get it done. And there's no doubt that affected them against Indiana in the next series.
Now here's Beasley following the miss by LaMarcus Aldridge.
Not a shot he should have taken in the face of such tough defense. He needed to get a better look.
Here's LeBron, uncovered. LaMarcus Aldridge again. Aldridge has got his second bucket of the night.
They've worked hard and created great chances for themselves in this opening quarter.
Well, if they can match that effort at the defensive end, look out.
The drive by Paul. Beasley kicks to Paul. Back to Beasley. And here is Childress. He got it up that time, but it wouldn't fall for him. And we reached the end of the first quarter. Cavaliers ahead, up by 6. And the second quarter about to get started. We'll be back in just a moment. Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. What stands out to you from the Cavaliers in this one?
And they've done a nice job here offensively to establish a rhythm and a pace to this game.
And I like that they're finding ways to score. Playing well here, Steve.
Knicks trail by 6.
You know, the Cavs have been very mindful of remaining flexible in terms of the salary cap. And when you do this, you set yourself up to perhaps make a big splash in free agency at some point, and you know what's coming. They might have a chance to re-sign LeBron in 2014 with how their books look.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Well, Kevin, almost an unbelievable stat, but back in 2007, LeBron finished the season shooting almost 48% from the field. Since then, he's improved his field goal percentage every single season for 6 straight years. Last season, shooting over 56%. A lot of that has been his dedication to playing closer to the basket. LeBron famously said a posting up quote, "There's nothing fun about it." But since he's made that commitment, Coach Spoelstra said, quote, "He has completely transformed himself as a basketball player. And in the process, he has completely transformed us." 2 titles back it up, Kevin.
That's why he's a champion, Doris. Thanks.
Yeah, such an amazing talent. He impacts the game in every way.
The Cavaliers leading by 6. And that had been the rumor for a while. The Cavaliers looking to maybe mend some bridges and bring LeBron back into the mix when he hits free agency next year. Their books are certainly in order for it, Steve, and it might happen.
Hey, you never know. I mean, nobody expected LeBron to leave in the first place, so why not give yourself an opportunity? You are in his backyard in terms of LeBron's hometown, so I like what the Cavs have done. They've added young talent, but they've maintained flexibility just in case.
Well, for so long, the Knicks have been the punchline of the Eastern Conference the last decade. Poorly managed contracts and questionable trades really kept them from rising to the top in the East. But once again now, they look like a powerhouse.
And it's the Knicks with the ball. They trail by 9 points. Back to Flynn. Shot clock at 6. Goes up on the high post. That one off the back iron and out. And Clark, you were right. The Knicks were a powerhouse last season. Steve, 37 wins against the rest of the conference, and they just would dominate other teams at times.
Well, they're a team that doesn't really want to run a lot or force tempo. They just kind of want to get you in the half court. They don't turn the ball over, and they bury you from long range. So, they found their identity last year, and it really dominated in that Eastern Conference.
The Knicks making a switch here. Jack's checked in. About a minute and a half into the second quarter now. Fredette can't hit.
And it is very dangerous to leave him open like that. Lucky break for the defense that he missed it.
Guys, I think Kenneth Faried was a steal for Denver with the 22nd pick of the 2012 NBA draft out of small Morehead State. His rookie season, he led the NBA in offensive rebounding rate, and he has not let up since.
Now here's LeBron. They lead by their biggest margin of the game.
Such a careless pass. You've got to keep your head in the game here.
Johnny Flynn's checked in for the Knicks. The Knicks have gone 0-4 in the second quarter. Obviously, that needs to change. And for Faried, mostly a dunk and put-back player offensively, though he has some touch we've seen around the rim.
He's worked hard at it, Kevin, because in college he really didn't show anything beyond 3 or 4 feet. But he's worked on that little 10-foot shot in the lane, and despite his height, he's never going to be a small forward. He's always going to be a power guy battling for position under the board. Well, when he came out of college, the one thing you knew with Kenneth Faried was he was going to give you a lot of hustle. Great rebounder at Morehead State, and he brought that into the league with him. He attacks the ball, he attacks the glass, plays hard on every possession.
Well, that's just the kind of player he is. It's in his nature. He can't help but hustle after missed shots, and he's willing to battle for rebounds and loose balls with anybody. There's no backing down with Faried. Paul's checked in for Jefferson. Both free throws good from Faried. There's 49 seconds left here in the second. Fredette kicks to Chandler. LeBron outside. That one a little long.
I thought he'd make that one. And that's his range, and the defense nowhere to be seen.
Outside check. Back to Flynn. It's stolen by Fredette. In transition, here come the Cavaliers. Fredette's running, and that one's good.
You know, size-wise, this is not a great one-on-one matchup for him, but he got that shot to go.
But you wouldn't know it by how he finished. That's a nice hoop there.
And he's got his first chance at the line here. Cavaliers making a switch here. And that one falls for Fredette. And we're now a little over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. And Jack kicks to Flynn. Back to Jack. Three-pointer. New York, no good that time either. The three from LeBron. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in. The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime. Cavaliers lead by 10. Folks, stay tuned for the halftime show with Damon Bruce for all the highlights from our first half.
And now, brought to you by Sprint. Good to have you along, everyone. It's time now for the halftime report. The Cleveland Cavaliers ahead against the Knicks in New York. Textbook defense play on their part. You couldn't draw it up any better. An impressive first half for LeBron. He's got 7 points and 3 rebounds as well. And a resilient Knicks team staying in it. They've done all the little things, made all the hustle plays, and that's been the difference. And now back to New York we go as the third quarter is just about to start.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint. And welcome back to New York City as we look at an enchanting view of Lady Liberty. Look at LeBron James. He's really been playing well.
I like that he didn't force anything in that first half. His decision-making was really flawless.
That being the case, Steve, I think they want him to be more assertive in the second half. Look to take more shots. Be a little more shot hungry, even the tough ones.
Knicks trail by 10. Paul with the ball. Beasley outside. Kicks it to Childress. And White with the block.
Such a solid performance for them inside. Their rebounding has been terrific.
Yeah, that's just one of the few things that have gone their way today.
Wade seems to be slowing down just a touch, and the difficulty as you get older when you're not a great jump shooter, which Wade is not, is that the defenses will back off you. And that's the big challenge now for Dwayne Wade, adjusting to that newer style of defense that he's going to be looking at.
No good on the free throw. And Steve, you go back to the strong output for Dwayne Wade last season for the 4th time. In his career, he averaged over 20 points and 5 rebounds and 5 assists a game. Clark, one of only 4 players in the league last season to hit that mark.
And Kevin, he led all shooting guards and player efficiency rating for the 5th consecutive season. Some might argue, but the numbers speak truth. He's the best shooting guard in the game.
And the second free throw, good.
And as he has gained more experience in the league, Wade has taught himself to rely a bit more on his jump shot and a little less on attacking the rim. But still, you see his confidence really lies in his ability to attack the lane.
Boy, that's a surprising miss right there. He usually feasts on those wide open opportunities.
Paul against Irving. Passes it to Wade. Lets it go from deep. Good, and the assist goes to Irving. Wade's got 4 points this quarter. And Wade's still a player who thrives on getting in the lane, Clark, and for his career, under 30% from long range.
Yeah, you know, his jump shot is more of a mid-range weapon, quite honestly. He loves the bank shot, loves the floaters, and is always looking to get somebody in the air with that pump fake. And usually, more times than not, guys bite, and he gets free throws.
He gets to the line, you're right.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but in the rebounding department too, Clark.
Yeah, it's been a really gritty performance. They'll have some bruises to show for it, but that's the way it should be. You should feel that you've competed when you do that work inside.
Now, here's Childress after Dwayne Wade's miss. Outside Irving. LeBron is screen on Paul. Aldridge kicks to Irving. Aldridge sets up the pick now for Irving. On the wing, Dwayne Wade. Another 3 for Cleveland.
These defenders had better start closing out on those shooters.
Yeah, that's twice in a row now where they've done exactly the opposite and backed off.
And the Knicks decide to take their first time out here. For the Cavaliers, Tyson Chandler is checked in for Aldridge. And it's Smith in for Royce White. And we're just around 2 minutes into the final half of play now. Outside Jack. He feeds it to Childress. He passes it to Norman. He dishes it to Childress. 6 to shoot. Will it go? And Jared Jack, the bucket on the assist by Childress.
I tell you what, fellas, he loves those mid-range jumpers. I mean, that's where he makes his money.
Irving kicks to Smith. Back to Irving. Feeds it to LeBron. Got it. Good job in the low post. LeBron's got 9. Knicks trailed by 17. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Now the pass to Norman. On the left block. And a rebound goes to the Cavaliers. Irving's got his 3rd rebound on the night. LeBron up top. Misses off the left eye. Well, through 3/4 of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Cavaliers on top, leading by 17. And we've got more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way after this break. And we're rolling here again with the 4th quarter. Might not come down to the wire, but you never know. And guys, what do you think about the hustle stance here for the Cavaliers?
Well, it's been an outstanding game for them in the open court. Their fast break points really stand out.
And the other thing they're doing is they're forcing turnovers and then converting those miscues into points at the other end.
The Cavaliers leading by 17. Irving passes to Wade. Back to Irving. Aldridge with a screen on Paul. Irving attacking. That's a 2 from Smith. Paul grabs the board. And here we go. Fast break. Paul's got it.
I don't think there's any question that Chris Paul is one of the top point guards in the league. Whether or not he's the top point guard is a matter of debate. But when you look at his total package, you can clearly understand why he's considered by some to be the top point guard in the league. Leadership, excellence in every facet of the game, and defensively, I think he does an outstanding job at the point of attack.
And that one falls for Paul. LeBron, he's checked in for Josh Smith. And so Paul nails both of them.
Steady work at the free throw line. Just what we're used to seeing out of him.
Irving attacking. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. Chris Paul picks up that one. And going back to Chris Paul, always efficient offensively. Great passer, great defender as well.
But his height, you know, that's always been the knock on him. I mean, he's, I think, barely 6 feet tall, but he can still dominate a game. It's incredible.
Free throw, good, Irving.
You look at Irving and how much success he's had early in his NBA career. I think the only thing standing between him and true stardom right now is health. He's just had a lot of nagging injuries. He would love to put together an injury-free season.
That's also good. So he hits both free throws. And for Kyrie Irving, his first All-Star appearance last season, and just Clark his second year.
Well, you look at his age and what he's doing. Really a skilled scorer and playmaker already with size and athleticism. I like his savvy too, Kevin. He's very slick in how he gets around the basketball court. This kid has a chance to perhaps be an MVP caliber player in a few more years. It's a +5 advantage for them in the rebounding category after that board.
Very steady work they've been doing on the interior, no question. And that's, I think, the main reason they have this lead.
And they double him up with LeBron. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see them double up here.
I agree. And they haven't been able to succeed with single coverage to this point.
Well, LeBron James was probably his best season statistically a year ago. I don't think there's any question about it, guys. I mean, certainly it was his most efficient offensive season. I mean, he had career highs of 56% shooting from the floor and 41% from long range. I don't know if we've seen a player of his size put together those kinds of numbers with the types of shots that he takes. I mean, just absolutely stunning what he did in terms of his efficiency last season.
Launches it. Cavaliers with the rebound. Irving's got his 4th rebound in this one. Outside, White. The dish now to LeBron. A fadeaway, and Cleveland again with the bucket. And for LeBron James, this season before last, he really focused on scoring in the post. Using his size and strength.
And we've seen his field goal percentage climb as a result. The low post work, I think the selection, too. He shoots fewer three-pointers, but a higher percentage. So now, how do you guard the guy? He's got everything in the package.
The Cavaliers leading by 20. Here's Irving. Irving gets a screen from Aldridge. Irving drives in, and the defense didn't have position. They whistle a blocking foul, and he'll go to the line.
You know, you watch Irving over the course of his first 2 seasons, guys, and he's so in control of himself late in games and really positions himself to assert his will and impact the outcome. That's why he's so good in the clutch.
First free throw is good. And you talk about the late-game clutch play for Kyrie Irving. His rookie season, statistically, he was the best in the league at scoring in the clutch.
That's an amazing stat, Kevin. I mean, that says it all. He's a tremendous shooter. Got size and ball handling skills to get him anywhere on the court. And I think in the next few years, Kyrie Irving will be considered the best point guard in the NBA.
And you can see he's a cornerstone of a rising Cleveland team, too.
He sure is.
We're about 2 minutes into the 4th quarter in this one. Outside Jack. Jack gets a screen from Williams. Pass to Norman. Outside Jefferson. Defended by Lamb. 6 on the shot clock. Williams trying to break free. Jefferson's shot is off. The Cavaliers have gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the 4th quarter started. Irving kicks to Chandler. 35 seconds left in the 4th quarter of this one. And there's the feed to Lamb. Smith. Off target with his 3.
Man, that's a shot you can't pass up. He should knock that down.
Here's Williams. And fouled as he went up to the dunk. Good aggressive move, and he'll shoot 2. It's going to be on Josh Smith.
I like that. Attack and create the contact.
Very nearly had an and 1 opportunity there. Good aggressive move.
And that one falls for Williams. And the Cavaliers making a change here. Both good from the line that time. 19 seconds left to play in the final quarter. And Cleveland can just let the clock run down here. Now, here is Fredette. So we see the Cavaliers taking the win here. And this one was such a lopsided victory.
They never let up. They were full throttle from the start.
Well, that'll do it. For Doris Burke, Steve Curry, Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan saying so long. We'll see you next time. And as we leave, we give you our Jordan Player of the Game, LeBron James.
be the Orlando Magic facing off against the Dallas Mavericks. And that'll do it from the studio. Let's get you out to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports broadcast crew at the arena. I'll see you back here at halftime.
Welcome, everyone. Let's get ready for some NBA basketball on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. And joining us a bit later from the sidelines, Doris Burke. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. First for the Magic, Ricky Rubio is out there with Oladipo. And they've got Vucevic, the sweet-shooting 7-footer out of USC, in at the center. Then there's Tobias Harris, and it's Nicholson in at the power forward. And for Dallas, Deron Williams out there with J.R. Smith. And it's center, the most dominant physical presence in the NBA, the elite defensive big man, Dwight Howard. And it's Thomas in at the 4 spot.
Well, the Magic ended up with just 20 wins on the season, which would be the worst record in the NBA last year, but they at least weren't dead last when it came to wins on the road. Still tied, though, for third worst in the league.
When you're a team like the Magic last season trying to find an identity in a rebuilding year, you know, Steve, it can be hard to gel as a cohesive unit on the road.
Well, the whole year it seemed like, a lot of the team was trying to figure out the kind of the nuances of the team dynamics, of the talent, of the new coaching staff. And it's frustrating when you're just getting beaten up every night. But you got to go through that to grow as a group. And hopefully this team can be a little better on the road this season.
Williams' shot is off. Oladipo with the ball. Oladipo off the pick from Vucevic. And Oladipo kicks to Harris. Left side Harris. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Rubio. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. That's on Deron Williams.
Well, it's natural to worry about how Rubio would be able to play after tearing his ACL, but, he came back last season and showed he still could create space and drop that perfect pass to a teammate. Boy, he's fun to watch. He's a real magician with the basketball.
First free throw is good. Clark, you talked about the impressive recovery of Ricky Rubio, the knee injury. Steve came back better than ever. Yeah, well, being young helps for sure. The recovery period happens a little quicker. But I think it also showed his great work ethic. He really attacked his rehab, and I think that bodes well for his future development of his game also.
This last summer, the Mavs asked fans to submit some redesigns of their uniforms for future use. Always kind of neat to see when a team and organization reaches out for the fans' input.
Now here's Teague. Outside Williams. Back to Teague. Lets it go from deep. And that one's good. Teague's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball.
But you can't leave him alone, especially from long range.
And back to the Mavs. Definitely a big move by them to reach out like that. Nothing like bringing crowdsourcing to the NBA and building a bridge, Steve, with your fan base.
Kevin, I had a chance to see some of the designs of the uniforms that were being suggested. Some pretty sharp-looking duds, but there were some other ones that were absolutely hideous. So let's hope the decision makers in the Mavs organization pick some of the, let's say, the more clean-looking new uniform suggestions.
Now here's Howard after the miss from Vucevic. Williams defended by Oladipo. Plenty of daylight on that shot. And that's now 6 points for Teague.
And that kind of defense is just not going to cut it, guys. They have to get a hand in his face.
Rubio gets a screen from Vucevic. And Rubio kicks to Vucevic. Once again off the mark, Orlando.
Well, I think the defense got lucky right there. I mean, he's going to make a lot more of those than he misses when he's got that much room.
Smith for three. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Williams. Smith's got his first 3 points of the game. Clark, some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, they need a basket just to regain some momentum here, Kevin.
So Orlando going with an almost entirely new group here. Glenn Davis is checked in for Vucevic. Boozer comes in for Andrew Nicholson. Daquan Jones, he's checked in for Tobias Harris. And Nate Robinson is subbed in for Oladipo. If you're just tuning in, we played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. There's the pass to Davis. Feeds it to Robinson. And he can't stop the run as he misses.
Boy, I'm shocked he didn't make that one. He usually knocks that one down with ease.
Smith with it. Jones covering. Mayo kicks to Smith. The finger roll finish at the bucket. Smith's got 5.
Well played right there, and you can feel the momentum changing.
I think this lead will continue to move upward unless something unforeseen happens.
Robinson goes in on the money from 12 feet away. Robinson's got his first points in this one.
With a much bigger man guarding him, that's not an easy shot to get off. Never mind to knock down. Terrific basket.
And that concludes the first quarter of play. Mavericks lead by 7. And we'll get the second quarter underway on the other side of this break. And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And what do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for the Mavericks?
Now, they didn't waste any time getting into a groove out there. They're dialed in from long range.
The other thing they've had going for them tonight is their passing. I mean, doing a nice job. Plenty of their points early on coming off assists.
The Magic trail by 7.
Dallas usually does well against the Eastern Conference, and even in a year when they were struggling, that still was the case. The Mavs posted a 500 or better record against every division in the Eastern Conference.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Kevin, it certainly seemed the Magic were to be lost after Dwight Howard, but they have quickly turned things around. The development of their young players last year and nabbing the number 2 overall pick in the draft helped speed that process. They took Victor Oladipo and now have a fantastic collection of young talent. We'll see how quickly they can get back to the postseason, guys.
Well, they didn't get it done last season, guys, but they're hoping with the revamped roster, this will be the year. Dallas did finish 41 up and 41 down in the year, with 17 of those wins coming, Steve, against the East. Not a bad mark for them.
And you'll remember last season, it was in March when the Mavs started gaining a lot of ground and kind of put themselves into playoff contention. And a lot of those wins that month came against Eastern Conference teams.
Boy, you look at Glenn Davis out of LSU, guys, and he might have made one heck of a left tackle in football. 6'9", close to 300 lbs. He's as strong as they come, and yet surprisingly as quick-footed as any big man in the league.
The first free throw is good. And Glenn Davis, an improving rebounder in recent years, and Stevie uses his size well defensively.
He's tough to back down. He's got a barrel chest, strong legs. Offensively, he's not a guy who finishes over the top, but he's crafty in the way he can go through bodies and kind of find ways to get the ball into the basket.
Eric Bledsoe's checked in for Dallas. That one falls, so he hits both of them.
Boy, it was a wreck of a season for the Magic last year. Started off decently, but then it went downhill fast. A 10-game losing streak, followed shortly again with a 12-game losing streak. Surprisingly, they did play well against the West, though.
Now here's Mayo. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Just 5 on the clock. Stolen by Robinson. And up the court come the Magic on the break. Pass to Boozer. Offensive rebound. Puts up the baby hook. And Davis can't get it to go.
And the defense did a pretty good job of closing off the middle once he got inside the lane.
Mayo into the lane. There's the bucket. Good. And Clark, as you said, probably the last thing anyone expected last season was for the Magic to do well against the West. But it happened, Steve. Half their wins came out of the conference.
Yeah, they actually had a winning record against the Pacific Division, believe it or not. I think some of that is that the Western teams kind of took Orlando for granted, particularly on the road. But look, in the end, it doesn't matter what your record is in conference, against divisions, against the league. What it's about is your total record, and they're looking to get better.
You know, it was a hot start last season for O.J. Mayo in Dallas, guys. A lot of people wondered if he finally turned the corner and become the star that people had expected when he was the 3rd overall pick back in 2008. But his hot shooting wore off a bit, and by the end of the season, Coach Carlisle was starting to question his effort.
Carlos Boozer's checked in for Glenn Davis. Second quarter of play with around 2 minutes gone so far. Robinson, he's guarded by Harper. On the wing, Rubio misses. And for O.J. Mayo last season, still some positive signs. A career high in three-point percentage, one of the better years from the field, and I think the Mavericks really enjoyed him on their team.
Well, it seemed on the whole that the year went very well for him. He opted out of the final year of his deal and picked up a new multi-year contract, so we'll see how he continues to develop.
The Magic making a switch here. Davis is checked in. And here in the second quarter of action with a hair under 2.5 minutes played so far. Davis setting the pick for Rubio. Robinson. Back to Rubio. He dishes it to Robinson. That's good. It's Rubio with the assist. Robinson's got his second basket of the night. Mavericks leading by 7. Bledsoe dishes to Smith. Goes up off the pick. And it's Orlando with the rebound. Thomas. And the rebound paying off as they pick up 2 on the second chance bucket right there.
And they're beginning to fall apart a little bit defensively, especially inside.
Well, that's 4 straight buckets now at the rim.
And Rubio kicks to Robinson. Drops one in from the wing. Robinson's got 7 points. Puts up a prayer. Cannot hit. And so we conclude the first half. Mavericks ahead, up by 7. And we'll get going after this from the American Airlines Center.
Now, presented by Sprint.
This is 2K Sports, and I'm Damon Bruce, coming to you live on a Friday night. For the Dallas Mavericks, they have the lead against Orlando. They've been having their way inside. A huge lead when it comes to points in the paint, making it very hard to defend against them. J.R. Smith making a big contribution. And what a game from O.J. Mayo. And the Magic are still in it, going all out. They've gone to their bench for the Sparks, and it's fired. Big scoring off the pine. Some great work out there by Nate Robinson. He's nearly single-handedly accounted for his team's offense, putting up more than half their points. No signs of slowing down. And that's going to do it. Time now to send you back to Big D. Third quarter coming up.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And we welcome you back, a nighttime view of glistening downtown Dallas, Texas.
Clearly, Orlando was a team in transition last year. They had a group of younger, inexperienced players, and many times when that's the case, you'll get off the slow starts in games, and that certainly proved to be true for the Magic.
All right, Mavs fans,
The Magic trail by 7. Well, Clark, you mentioned that the Magic were at the very bottom of the league when it came to scoring in the first quarter of games. Steve, you got to get better as the game went on, obviously, but you can't start every game in a hole down like they did and expect to do well.
Well, we just go back to the roster, and that explains everything. I mean, you look at who they had, the lack of a go-to scorer out of the gates, and that explains the slow starts. So this is really all about continuing to build the roster and try to put together some talent.
And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Gentlemen, Rick Carlisle is widely considered an outstanding strategist and X and O's coach. But with the turnover on the Mavericks roster the last few seasons, he's tried to keep things as simple as possible for them. He said, quote, "My ongoing goal is to call less or no plays if we can. We want our guys to make plays." Kevin?
Well, Doris, when you've got that kind of talent and IQ, playing on instinct can certainly be effective. And so Nicholson nails both of them. Here's Williams. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard.
Well, it was rather on the down low, but a very nice rookie season for 6'9" big man Andrew Nicholson out of St. Bonaventure. He didn't start playing basketball until the 11th grade, guys, but you'd never guess it from his well-rounded offensive skill set.
Now Oladipo after the missed 3 from T. Rubio outside. Oladipo, the pass to Harris. Just 5 to shoot. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. And Clark, you mentioned the offensive gifts of Andrew Nicholson. Range on his jump shot, an array of moves inside. He comprises a nice little package.
Yeah, he's going to be an interesting player. Very creative offensively. He's got a soft touch with that jump hook, and you mentioned the ability to shoot from range.
Now Rubio after the missed 3 from T. Dishes it to Oladipo. Back to Rubio. Rubio gets a screen from Nicholson. Rubio with it. Williams picks him up. And it's Harris off the drive. That's good. Harris has got 4 this quarter.
This game has taken on a new feel since halftime.
For sure, the energy level on both sides has gone way up after the break.
Glenn Davis is checked in for Vucevic. Just over a minute and a half played here in the third. Teague sets a screen for Bledsoe. Smith dishes to Howard. Kicks it to Bledsoe. Smith outside. From 17 feet out. Again, the miss by the Mavericks. Orlando trailing here. Guys, we've seen some excellent offensive output.
Yes, sir, fellas. They've had it going on big time.
Big time is right, Clark. A lot of momentum here offensively.
Now, here is Robinson. 7 points in the game. For the lead. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
Well, Big Baby has that football build. 6'9", close to 300 pounds, but he's surprisingly light on his feet for such a big guy. And he's got a nice touch on that jump shot as well.
Yeah, nice touch and good mobility, and a lot like those tree trunk guys when he sets a screen. Good luck in getting through that. Wow. And it's tied up with that one. Vucevic checked in for Orlando. And they now lead as the free throw drops for him. 2-for-1 chance here.
Yeah, let's see if they use the clock to their advantage.
Bledsoe outside. Williams. Outside for Bledsoe. Outside Williams. Right side Williams. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. Teague is checked in for J.R. Smith. The Mavericks have made their only other free throw attempt today in an earlier trip to the line. Free throw good, Williams. A little over 2.5 minutes off the clock in this final half of play. Rubio outside. Robinson left side. Once again off the mark, Orlando. Now here's Bledsoe. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Dallas again missing. And we just finished the third quarter, and we got a tight ball game here. Mavericks lead by 2. And when we return, we'll get the fourth quarter rolling right here on 2K Sports. All right, we welcome you back to what's been a hard-fought battle. Fourth quarter should be good. And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for the Mavericks.
These long-range shots look like layups out there, guys.
Another thing they've done tonight is work the ball into the paint for plenty of those close-range points. You got to have those.
The Mavericks leading. Now here is Smith. Back to Howard. Pass to Williams. Again, the miss by Williams.
Boy, with an open look like that, he is so gifted. Man, you got to play better defense. Eventually, he's going to make you pay.
You got that right. I mean, he'll do it from three-point land or anywhere on the perimeter, really, because he is a deadly shooter. You've got to do a better job defensively.
Now Harris, after the missed three from Darren Williams. On the clock. And you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it 3.
Heard the whistle and still kept his focus, able to knock that down.
And that is not easy, Steve. I mean, to take the bump, to maintain control of your body, and put it in the hole, tremendous play.
And for the Mavericks, they're shooting about 42% so far. Teague kicks to Williams. Howard with a screen on Rubio. Back to Teague. Passes it to Williams. From the arc. They grab their own miss. Thomas, that's good. Clark and Steve, neither team with a big advantage here in the fourth quarter.
5 times we've had the lead switch so far. I mean, back and forth we go.
Man, I think that total could rise, Clark, because 2 evenly matched teams playing a tough game.
The Mavericks have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. And Williams, here we go. Teague left side. Good, and it's Williams who picks up the assist. And it's 9 points for Teague.
And the hot shooting continues, guys.
Yeah, it sure does, Steve. They've mothballed the defense, though. It's all about offense today.
Time called here. The Magic decide to talk it over. They're losing by 4. There's a minute 40 left in the fourth quarter of this one. A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, over that break, I listened in on what head coach for the Magic was getting across in the huddle. He really wants them to try to push the tempo here, see if they can get a few easy buckets in transition, saying, listen, we're playing station to station right now. Let's try to catch them off guard, guys. Let's see if they can do exactly that, Kevin.
Thank you, Doris. There's a minute 40 left here in the fourth quarter. The drive by Rubio. Now the feed to Vucevic. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
You know, even from here, you can see that one pretty clearly.
Yep, pretty obvious. And a good call by the official.
Drops the first one. That narrows the lead down to just 3.
You know, even though they're down, they're putting on a show at the free throw line this half.
I think they've done a good job of making the most of their chances at the line, and they've got to keep it up to take the lead.
Second free throw, no good that time. He really wanted that one.
leaves them needing a three to tie it up. Not the ideal situation.
Good on the first, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. So he gets them both, and it's a 5-point game.
That was a critical trip to the stripe. They have a 2-possession lead now.
Williams against Rubio. The shot is off, so the Mavericks will take it the other way. They've led by as much as 10. Smith the pass to Williams. Double team on Williams. Team. Three-pointer. Cannot hit. And here's Rubio. There's 49 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Comes up empty down low.
If they could end every possession with that shot, they'd be happy. 9 times out of 10, that's an easy layup for them.
Outside Teague. Back to Smith. And he commits the intentional foul. And he misses the first one. Boy, he wanted that one to fall. Dwight Howard, he's checked in for Teague. And the second of 2 is good. That increases their lead to 6. 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock.
Not much time to work with. They need a basket here.
Yep, they've got to get a steal or foul to stop the clock.
There's Rubio, and it's sent back by Howard. And so they choose to intentionally foul. It's the first, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And the Magic making a change here. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's an 8-point game. Now a timeout called by Orlando. They're behind by 8. There's 14 seconds left in the game. Guys, what's your take?
Well, talk all they want, but I just don't see a way for them to get back into the game here.
You know what? I don't know if there's a 10-point play out there. That being the case, this one is finished. Over.
There's 14 seconds left in the fourth. Here's Lamb. Another miss by Orlando.
Yeah, that's a low percentage shot right there.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, he's got to be thinking out there a little better. Make the pass in that situation. Don't force a bad shot.
So we see the Mavericks get the win here. It was a solid win, Clark.
Yeah, it was, and I think it came down
this one.
That about does it for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, and the rest of our great crew. This is Kevin Harlan saying so long and thanks for watching. Now, here's our Jordan player of the game.
Sports, you're watching the NBA. Friday Hoops Fest coming up next. It's going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder up against the Washington Wizards. And with the game about to get underway, let's head on out to Kevin, Clark, and Steve, who are courtside at Verizon Center. And a good-natured back and forth between the players while we wait to get this one underway. Well, the weekend has officially begun, and we welcome you to this 2K Sports presentation of NBA Basketball. Along with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. A quick check down the starting lineups for both teams. First for the Thunder, Russell Westbrook out there with Hayward. And at center, it's Marcin Gortat, the 6'11 versatile scorer and finisher, known as the Polish Hammer. And it's Durant, and it's Ibaka in at the power forward. And for the Wizards, Tony Parker is out there with Bradley Beal. They've got Miller. Tonight, we'll see him work to establish that all-important presence under the glass. Then it's Trevor Ariza, and it's Lynch, and it's the 4 slot.
Points in the paint for the Wizards, really a problem area last season. Even with their revamped front court, it was not easy for them to finish at the rim. Maybe a full year of having John Wall healthy will help that because he creates easy scoring opportunities.
And so off the tip, it's Oklahoma City. Now Westbrook. Gortat with a screen on Parker. And Gortat kicks to Hayward. And it's Lynch with the rebound. As for the Wizards, as you said, Clark, they ended up being the second worst team in the NBA when it came to points in the paint. But they just couldn't get much going from the bigs down low, Steve.
And some of that was the injury to John Wall early because he's the one who has to set the table for those guys. But look, this is a team that has made some improvements. They're gaining some momentum. They've got some good young talent. I think that area, the points in the paint, is going to improve as this season goes on.
On offense, here are the Thunder. And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Kevin, Scott Brooks gave me a couple of minutes to catch up with him. One player we discussed in detail is the young Bradley Beal. He said, I was a fan of his game from watching him at Florida. His combination of outside shooting and slashing make him a very tough cover. We're going to put pressure on him and try to take the ball out of his hands. And Kevin, Beal's such an intriguing talent. We'll see if he's able to put up some big numbers.
And as always, Doris, thank you. That free throw missing.
You know, with the recent success of Oklahoma City, you forget that in Kevin Durant's first season, they started out going 3-29. And I tell you what, you talk about their success, it's due to the resilience and perseverance and leadership of Kevin Durant and the rest of those guys.
Well, there is a culture of hard work, as Clark was talking about, and the perseverance for this Oklahoma City Thunder organization. Their star players, Steve, get a lot of credit, but it's the whole organization, don't you think?
No question. It's the culture that was set. Scott Brooks has continued to kind of establish that atmosphere in the locker room. And they have players who just want to work and want to get better. And when you have a large group of people all with that same approach, you're going to be very successful.
Don't take your eyes off of him because he can make plays from multiple spots on the floor. Put the isolated cam on him.
First quarter, about a minute and a half in. Parker passes to Lynch. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Ron, if you want to get better defensively, watch this guy play basketball because it's like a textbook. I mean, he's always in the right position. He anticipates things so well, and he's as good at taking charges as just about anybody in the league.
And he can wipe that offensive glass too, Steve. I mean, he turns a whole lot of misses into makes.
And he makes the first.
Well, you could see it at the start of the season that Oklahoma City was being driven by falling short in the 2012 finals. Their focus was on being the best team in the West, and they jumped on that goal right from the start.
Lynch hits them both. And for the Thunder, the second-best regular season record in the league last season, Steve, at 60-22.
Well, and they had the best point differential in the league, Kevin, which I think is probably the best barometer in terms of how well you're playing. But clearly the Westbrook injury in the first round of the playoffs against Houston just completely took the wind out of their sails. And I would look for Oklahoma City to be back this year. With everybody healthy, they'll have a chip on their shoulders. They want to get back to the finals this year.
Ariza no luck.
He doesn't really scare a defense at all. You've seen him miss quite a few just like those.
And here's Hayward. Durant up top. Lynch defending. Pocket 6. Hayward kicks to Gortat. Oklahoma City moving it around. Here's Westbrook. Gortat dishes to Westbrook. And Parker with the block. And here in the first, approaching 3 minutes played. Miller outside. Parker gets to Ariza. Gortat with the steal. Here we go, one-on-one. Puts the lead pass in front of him. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Well, you allow them to get right to the rim like that. That's your only option.
Yeah, I think you got to foul them, and free throws are better than a layup.
The Thunder shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night.
Well, one of the highlights last season, this team shot the ball extremely well from the stripe. Huge factor.
And, you know, that just added to their confidence at the offensive end. I mean, knowing that free throw shooting was something they didn't have to worry about gave them a lot of confidence to play freely.
And that one falls for Westbrook. He hits one and misses one, each at the line. Here's Red, outside, Wall. Just 3 on the clock, and that basket was going to count. Goaltending, the official call.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
That's the end of the first, and both teams still warming up their offenses. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter. And so far, it's been a closely contested game as we get the second quarter up and going. And when you consider how the Wizards are doing, Steve and Clark, your thoughts?
And the difference to this point has been defense. This club has really gotten after it, and that's what's gotten them this lead.
Well, there's nothing that's gone up that hasn't been contested so far.
Now, here is Red. Wall sets a screen for Red. Outside, Wall. Back to Red. Shoots. That one wide left.
Well, you knew he was going to be a project, and I think you can chalk up last season as just part of his development. But Perry Jones is going to have a long career in the NBA. He's going to continue to get better. He's got a lot of talent trying to work his way into the regular rotation.
Now here's Jennings. After the miss from Red. Shot clock at 3. Redick for 3. Rebound by the Wizards. And a chance here to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
As you know, guys, Kevin Durant was the runner-up to LeBron James in MVP voting last season. Elite company, but for Durant, it's not good enough. He said, quote, "I've been second my whole life. I was the second best player in high school. I was the second pick in the draft. I've been second in the MVP voting 3 times. I came in second in the finals. I'm tired of being second." And as for his friendship with LeBron, Durant said, "I'm not taking it easy on him. Guys, it sounds like he's taking no prisoners this season."
A scary thought. Thanks, Doris. Now, Parker. After the missed 3 from Redick. Parker's shot is off. And for Jones, it's hard for players with his frame, Clark, to come in and immediately make an impact in the NBA, and it could be a few seasons before he becomes a major factor.
And fortunately for him, and to his credit, Kevin, he seems to know that and embrace it. That's a big deal for a young player. A lot of times young players want to play right away, want to accelerate and get out there before they're ready. There's a lot to learn about being productive in the NBA, and to his credit, he understands it's a process.
Here's Westbrook, following the score by Tony Parker. And Gortat kicks to Hayward. Bangs home the trifecta.
I like the offensive awareness to exploit that lack of coverage on that play.
Washington trailing. We've got 1:18 left in the second quarter. Beal gets a screen from Lynch. Beal with it, out-guarded by Hayward. Ariza no one.
And you look at Trevor Ariza out of UCLA. He's a rangy defender on the perimeter. And his outside shot may be a little streaky, but defensively, that's really his forte on that side of the floor. He gets after it, makes a lot of hustle plays.
Wizards have gotten only one of their first 4 shots in the second quarter to drop. It's Ariza on the wing. And the rejection by Ibaka. Jennings kicks to Hayward. It's back to Jennings. A 3 ball. Ariza with the rebound.
And, you know, thinking about Ariza, it makes sense to be selective offensively for him. I mean, he looks to be a 3-and-D guy and finish around the rim. When he tries to become an isolation scorer, I think sometimes he gets himself in trouble.
Here's Parker, following the score by Serge Ibaka. It's Parker with the drive. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Obvious foul.
Yeah, he took a hit right there and earned those free throws.
It's his first trip to the line. And he knocks down the first one. And a new group in here for the Thunder. He hits both from the stripe. 17 seconds left in the first half of basketball. Outside Westbrook. 14 feet away. Here's Jones, and a good offensive board, and he gets the bucket.
Did you see the defense get caught standing around that time, giving up an easy second chance bucket?
Simply need more of an effort on the boards there, Steve.
And the first half ends in a close one. Thunder out in front, up 3. We'll be back shortly live from the Verizon Center.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
The weekend is finally upon us, and on this Friday night, it's time for the halftime show. The Thunder are in a tight contest against the Washington Wizards. They've done a great job closing out their defensive possessions, grabbing boards, great rebounding. Gordon Hayward with some valuable contributions. Serge Ibaka's also been a factor for them, and a scrappy effort by Washington. They've taken full advantage of their trips to the line, and that's made a key difference. Tony Parker's dishing it out, and the other team is taking it. Nothing comes easy. He's done the hard work, and they could pull it out once they get to the second half. And that'll wrap things up for me here in the studio. Second half is just around the corner. Thanks so much for stopping by.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. Here's Parker.
Losing 12 straight to start the season for the Wizards, just ominous, and through 20 games, the worst start in franchise history. But once they got back to health, they showed they could compete with anybody.
And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Kevin, the Thunder are often seen as getting into one another during games in what looks like heated arguments. But that is the culture they want, as every player can hold each other accountable. Coach Scott Brooks describes it saying, "I'm with them every day." Did they have some competitive moments? Absolutely. But that's how we work here. We challenge each other. It gets chippy. You can't argue with the results, even if it looks like they are always at each other's throats, guys.
I believe it. Those must make for some good battles, Doris. Thanks. When you start out like the Wizards did last year, it's easy to get down on yourself and give up on the season. But you know what, Steve? They showed a lot of fight and never bowed their heads.
Got to give a lot of credit to Randy Whitman for keeping the ship afloat after that tough start. And I like the fact that they added some veteran guys a season ago that I think added to the character of this team. But it's an interesting group, no doubt.
The first free throw is good.
You know, last season, the Thunder marched their way to the top seed in the West and spent most of the season battling for that top spot with San Antonio. And it was the Thunder's play on the road that was the big difference between the two.
And both free throws good for Beal. You know, another note on the Thunder and the road dominance. You're always going to have to be fantastic on the road if you want to win in the West. And the Thunder, Steve, clearly the best in the West on the road.
Yeah, 26 wins for them, 2 more than the next few teams in the conference. And the only team that had more road wins than them on the year in the NBA was the Heat. So just a terrific season for the Thunder, both at home and on the road. Of course, kind of got derailed by the Westbrook injury in the playoffs.
Here's a reason. Kevin Durant picking up that last basket. And so it looks like the Wizards will retain possession here.
17 seconds.
So it's Washington now. They trail by 3. It's Parker with the drive. Ariza against Durant. Shot clock at 5. Baseline J on the way. Jump shot is good that time. 6 points for Tony Parker. The Thunder shooting at 36%. They really seem out of sync offensively.
Seems like every year, guys, you look at Tony Parker and he's found something else to add to his game. He's always improved.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Thunder. Last season for Tony Parker, arguably his best ever. 20 points a game, almost 8 assists. 52% Steve from the field. And there was even talk at midseason about maybe MVP consideration.
Well, his ability to score inside around the rim is amazing, but he's also become a master of knocking down the jump shot from that 15 to 18-foot range. But really, this team has been built now around Parker. Their offensive strategy completely tailored to suit his talents.
Second half of basketball, just over a minute played so far. Gortat, the pass to Westbrook. Ibaka outside. He feeds it to Hayward. Gortat from 7, and Oklahoma City again with the bucket. Wizards trail by 3.
Well, it was an ugly start to the season for the Wizards. Tried to revamp by trading for a host of veterans, but out of the gate, times were tough as they lost their first 12. Eventually got things turned around and were more dangerous when John Wall got healthy.
Gets it to go. 8 points for Tony Parker.
You know, guys, that's what he does. He just loves to play that kind of attacking basketball.
Ibaka sets the pick for Westbrook. Pass to Gortat. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. The difference for the Wizards after Wall came back, as you said, Clark, was just day and night. They were so much more energized and seemed to relish the role of playing the spoiler for a lot of teams, Steve, down the stretch.
Yeah, they looked like a playoff team by the end of the year, and that's the challenge this season as we watch this club play it out. I mean, can they stay healthy? Can they continue that hot run that they had at the end of last year? And can that carry over into this one?
And a new group in here for the Thunder. Both free throws, good from Gortat.
You know, with so many high hopes, the Thunder seem to be everybody's pick to make it to the finals once again. They were so dominant throughout the regular season. Many thought it was a foregone conclusion, but the injury to Russell Westbrook kind of sidetracked all of that.
Now here's Wall. Here's Beal. 6 on the shot clock. Off target from the baseline. The Thunder leading by 3. And Durant, here we go. Excellent D there from Red. And back to the Thunder in the postseason. They did well to get by the Rockets after Westbrook injured his knee. But, Steve, they just didn't have the same dynamic punch when they later faced the Grizzlies. Ended up getting bounced out in the second round.
Well, it was a tough matchup for them because the Grizzlies are so good defensively. And when you take Westbrook out of the lineup, all of a sudden it changes everything. I thought Oklahoma City battled, but they just didn't have enough firepower without their point guard.
And the first one at the line is good. And the Thunder making a change here. Udo's checked in. Both shots good from the stripe. A touch over 2.5 minutes of basketball played here in the third quarter. And Reddick kicks to Jennings. A step-back shot here. And here we go. The Wizards fast break. Edge got the ball. And the go-ahead bucket, no good.
Terrific defense at the rim. They got right in his path.
You know, that's part of what great defenders do. They get not only in your path, but in your head a little bit, too.
It's still anybody's game as we've reached the end of 3. Thunder lead by 1. And when we return, we'll get the fourth quarter rolling right here on 2K Sports. And thanks for joining us again as the fourth quarter of play is set to get rolling. It's been a close battle to this point. The Thunder with the lead. Outside Jennings. It's Durant on the wing. High, arcing shot, and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. That's good from Durant. And the Thunder with some changes. Gortat has come in for Perry Jones. And Gordon Haywards is subbed in for Brandon Jennings. Falls, so he hits both of them.
Boy, still waiting for their first miss from the foul line this half.
100% since halftime, is that right? I'm not sure this lead's going away anytime soon if that keeps up.
The 19-foot shot. It's rebounded by Durant.
This game has been very close in a lot of areas, but rebounding is one thing that they've been able to dominate.
Yeah, they've chased down that pumpkin often.
Well, with that much space off the pick, you've got to drop that in.
Yeah, you got to make that one. I mean, that's a high-quality shot you should make 9 out of 10 times.
Beal gets a screen from Miller. The pass to Lynch. Off the pick. And good. He nails it.
That was an outstanding pick that gave him the room to bury the jump shot. Underrated, but not undervalued.
There's 1:54 left in the fourth quarter. Here's Ibaka. And, there's a whistle. He was going up for a layup. And while it looked like there was some contact, I wasn't sure they were going to call a foul shot or not, but sure enough they have. So we've got a couple of free throws coming up. Is good, and that will put them up by 2. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 3-point game.
You know, the tension could not be any higher right now, and he looked like he was shooting free throws at practice. Just a cool customer.
Time called here. The Wizards decide to talk it over. They're behind by 3. There's a minute 47 left here in the fourth quarter. And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Yes, Kevin, Randy Whitman had some words for his team over the break. He told them it's time to fight and take the lead. Let's put ourselves in position to bring it home. Guys, we'll see if they've got what it takes to get it done.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. Beal with it. Final quarter of play, about a minute and a half off the clock into it. 6 to shoot. Ariza kicks to Beal. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
100% free throw shooting this half, guys.
Efficiency is so crucial when you're trying to overcome a deficit, Steve.
At the line for 2.
He hits the first one, and that brings them within 2 here. And he makes both free throws. Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City. They're up by 1. 1:24 left in the fourth quarter. We're just over a minute and a half now into the fourth. Durant dishes to Westbrook. Oklahoma City moving the ball around. And Gortat kicks to Hayward. The kick out to Westbrook. Just 5 on the clock. And Durant, here we go. Goes to the fadeaway and cans it. Durant's got 4 this quarter.
He hushed them up with that shot.
Well, a huge bucket there to stifle the crowd. You're right.
It's like they're stunned. I mean, they don't know what to think.
There's 49 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Now here's Beal, defended by Hayward. Beal can't get it to go.
That was not pretty there. You got to make that one, but maybe that's not his range.
Clark, they'll be trying to take as much time off the clock as they can.
Exactly. Expect to see some long possessions out of them going forward.
Westbrook drives in. Ariza with the rebound. Washington calls timeout. They're down by 3. We've got 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Wizards have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. To tie it up. Misses the tray. And so they choose to intentionally foul.
Smart foul there. You've got to try to extend the game.
Yeah, it's still close, but they're fighting that clock as much as the score right now.
As he doesn't get the first one to fall. Trying to focus now on the second. They can't make the second free throw either. Missing both.
Well, you've got to get it done at the line in that situation. Now we've still got a game.
Fires the 3. No good from three-point territory. They're going to prolong the game here with an intentional foul. So the first one drops, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. Second one is good. Being both at the line, and it's a 5-point game.
Clutch free throws there to ensure that they're going to go home with the W.
So it's Oklahoma City picking up the win. They pulled off this win, Clark, with respectable performances on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I think it was just really a nice overall effort, Kevin.
And that'll do it for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation the NBA on 2K Sports. And now we present the Jordan Player of the Game, March In Courts Out.
Suns facing off against the Boston Celtics. And now out to Boston with Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, and Clark Kellogg.
Welcome, everyone. This is what you've been waiting for. The NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, joined by Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. We've got a chance now for our starting lineups from point guard to center. This game should be a good one. First for the Suns. And then for the Boston Celtics, speedy backcourt of Rondo and Bradley, Ikon Okoye. Then there's Chandler Parsons, and it's Sullinger in at the 4 slot.
You know, for so long, the Suns have been one of the stronger teams in the West and typically could just blitzkrieg Eastern Conference teams with their offense. That's not the case anymore. It really was the East that got the better of the Suns last season.
And it's the Suns to start out. Rondo against Felton. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. It's on Rajon Rondo. Well, back to the Suns against the Eastern Conference. They really seemed to flounder at times, and they had to travel to the East Coast. And, Steve, even when they hosted teams in the desert,
you know, all good things must come to an end, and the Suns' dominance over the East wasn't going to last forever. Because remember, for many years, the Suns just ran roughshod over the Eastern Conference. But only 8 wins in their 30 games against the East. That was by far the lowest total of anybody in the West.
Both free throws good from Felton.
Well, you know, last season, I think, officially brought the immediate championship aspirations of the Celtics to a close. The 7th seed in the East, dispatched in the first round by the Knicks. The rebuild was on in full cycle.
Eyes again. Okoye's shot is off. Here is Felton.
Watch outside.
Left side, Felton. 6 on the shot clock. Plenty of space. Drained for 2 points. And back to the Celtics, making the playoffs, sure, but, you know, not like Steve back in 08 or 2010.
Well, this has been a phenomenal era, you know, with KG and Pierce that is now a thing of the past. But look, they've hoisted a championship banner, very close to another. But it's just time to move on, and that's just the way it is in the NBA. These things go in waves, and the Celtics now in rebuilding mode.
Phenomenal alley-oop slam right there, guys.
They're taking advantage, Clark, of a team that looks lost out there.
Yeah, this is threatening to get kind of ugly out here.
A minute 42 left in the first quarter. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
And Parsons kicks to Bradley. Now the pass to Okoye. That one off the back iron and out.
If I'm him, I'm looking to move the ball the rest of the quarter because he cannot buy a shot.
And here is Felton. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Henry defended by Parsons. Fades and shoots. And it's Phoenix scoring again.
And again, a few more points added to the lead. They might be ready to pull away here.
I wouldn't be surprised, Steve. As well as they've got it working right now, that could be the case.
Rondo kicks it out to Bradley. Dishes it to Okoye. Defended by Henry. They need this. Okoye's shot is off.
Boy, he has been struggling mightily in this quarter, guys.
True. He really seems to have tightened up a bit for whatever reason. He looks tight.
Now, here's Felton. All alone. It's rebounded by Okoye.
I think he was surprised by how much space he had there and just rushed the shot a little bit.
Outside Rondo. And Parsons kicks to Rondo. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful.
Well, they had to take the lid off the hoop, I guess, but they finally get one to go there.
Yeah, a bit of an unsettled start. I mean, maybe that'll get them going.
And that does it for the first quarter. Suns lead by 6. We'll get things started in the second quarter when we return. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment.
You knew that at some point the window for the group of Celtics that had won a title was going to close. I mean, it was inevitable. But last year it seemed like they were going to go for one last hurrah. They added some depth and looked to reload for another run.
Celtics trail by 6, and getting back to the Celtics and Rondo's injury, a lot of people expected them to start the rebuilding process. Ended up standing pat at the deadline, Steve, even though there was, it seemed, a lot of interest.
You know, you want to give that group, KG and Pierce and Rondo, you want to give them another run. And they had their last hurrah. They didn't get it finished. And now you start the rebuilding project. So a lot of trades, a lot of movement over the summer. But I like the fact that they gave that club one more run.
And here's Dragic after the three-pointer from Crawford.
Well, guys, Goran Dragic signed to a big 4-year contract by the Phoenix Suns last season. Really has played well. He's crafty, he's clever, he's got good size, can finish at the basket, and also can shoot the three. He's a lot of fun to watch.
That free throw missing. And Dragic actually drafted by the Suns back in 2008 with a second-round pick. And, Steve, you know a little bit about him. They had the good sense to bring him back.
I did draft him, Kevin, and a guy we liked for a long time before that draft. He's turned into an excellent player. The Suns brought him back after losing Steve Nash. And for a team looking to build and go young, he's been a good fit.
Well, you know, the Suns dropped from being a team that could fight for a playoff spot to the cellar of the West last season, and much of that you could attribute to how much they struggled on the road.
Now here's Stuckey. Shot clock at 6. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. Well, the Suns did have a lot of trouble on the road, as you were saying, Clark. Only managed to win 8 games as the visiting team. Steve, the entire season. That's not good.
Well, 8 wins is unacceptable, man. It actually tied the Suns with the Kings for the fewest road wins in the entire conference. So, look, this is a young team. They have a lot of learning to do. They've got to add talent. I think the rebuilding project has started, and they're going to get better, but it's still going to take some time.
You know, when you're one of the worst teams in the league, you have a lot of problems. And for the Suns, one of their biggest problems was that opponents shot very close to 40% against them from behind the arc, and that's just not a winning number.
And so Stuckey nails both of them. As you said, Clark, with the Suns, dead last in the league in terms of opposing three-point percentage. Defense overall was a problem for him, Steve, but especially on closing out on shooters. beyond the arc.
Well, the three-point shot, Kevin, has become such a huge part of every NBA team's offense now that if you're struggling to defend that line, you're going to really find yourself at the bottom of the league defensively and record-wise, and that's exactly where Phoenix found itself. Well, the big thing with him is that corner three-point shot. That's his spot. He loves drifting to that area. And so defensively, you've got to keep an eye on him. But what that does is it limits the amount of help you can give when he's on the floor.
And, Steve, you know, his ability to come in and rattle off 10, 20 points in no time flat, that's a gift and a real asset for any team. Some guys need a while to get going, not him. You know, it's always strange to see how a team will react when they lose one of their biggest stars. Last season, the Celtics were thought to be dead in the water when Rondo tore his ACL, but they actually rallied and went on the winning streak after the injury.
And the Suns making a change here. Murphy's checked in. And the second free throw, good. Well, Clark, as you said, with Rondo and the Celtics, they would go on to win the next 7 right after his injury, and overall Steve played better than expected the rest of the way.
Sometimes that's the way these things go, Kevin. A star player goes down, everybody else kind of steps up, and instead of feeling sorry for themselves, they use it as a rallying cry. And all those role players for Boston really picked up the extra slack, and I thought they made a great push to end that season after the Rondo injury.
Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burdick. Doris, what do you have?
Gentlemen, for Jared Sullinger, drafted to the Celtics last season, it was a great opportunity to learn from one of the best big men ever to play the game in Kevin Garnett. Sullinger said, "You're learning every day, and as you're seeing what he's seeing, the game slows down tremendously." Fortunately, Jared not the type to take criticism personally, saying, quote, "Because I had Zach Sullinger as a coach," he says, referring to his father James, who taught him the game. And guys, Garnett praised Sullinger's incredible IQ for the game and no-nonsense demeanor. He's fit right in with the Celtics.
Nice stuff, Doris. Thank you. Pass to Arnold. Three-pointer. No good. And the Celtics going the other way now. And the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. He went over and back. Feeds to Dragic. The three. Count the bucket.
Boy, he made a nice little bounce pass there. We call that the pocket pass, and he did it well.
Celtics trailed by 5. Stuckey passes to Crawford. Stuckey setting the pick for Crawford. Back to Stuckey. Lets it fly from 18. Will not go. This is off the front iron. Clock management. This is where, Steve, they can get a 2-for-1.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. As long as the first one's a good one, and now you play D, you get the ball back, one more shot.
Missed. And he goes up strong with one hand and flushes it down.
Boy, terrific rebound and slam on the putback. He never gives up, always persistently pursuing the pumpkin.
And that's an essential quality for an offensive rebounder, an outstanding offensive rebounder that he is.
Yeah, he's got to go after it, and he does.
Yeah, he qualifies as one of the best in the league.
And the shot is good. Suns leading by 4. Right side, Dragic. Pass to Arnold. Kicks it to Murphy. Three-pointer. Another 3 for Phoenix.
How about that for a response?
They will say they can give the 3 as well as they can take the 3.
The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime. Suns ahead. They're up by 7. And coming up after the break, it'll be Damon Bruce breaking down all the highlights from the first half of play.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
It's a lively Friday evening here at 2K Sports. Hopefully you're having a great time watching a little basketball tonight. For the Phoenix Suns, they have the lead against the Celtics in Boston. They're scoring effortlessly. The defense has been completely overmatched. A nice contribution by Raymond Felton. He's given his team a lift. And Goran Dragic has also been getting it going for them. And the Celtics still keeping at it. They've been getting roundly outplayed up to this point, and they'll need a bounce-back effort to make up for it in the second half. Ikon Okoye with a rough first half. Not a lot of production to show for his minutes. They'll need him to play a lot stronger in the second half. And that'll be all for this episode. It's in the books, and I'm all done reading. Thanks so much for watching, and enjoy the second half.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And as we return, a view of the beautiful skyline of downtown Boston.
You know, it's no secret around the league, guys, that the Suns either have one of the best medical staffs in the game or they've built their practice facility by the fountain of youth. More evidence of that came when Jermaine O'Neal found new tread on his well-worn tires.
Celtics trail by 7. Bradley kicks to Rondo. Back to Bradley. Right side Bradley. Okoye dishes to Sullinger. Outside Felton. Clock at 6. Here's Witt. And the rejection by Parsons. Now Rondo. Rondo off the pick from Sullinger. Here's Bradley. And it's good, coming on the assist by Rajon Rondo. Bradley's got the first points of the third quarter up on the board for the Celtics. He kicks to Henry. Some nice ball movement here by the Suns. Nice shot by Felton.
I like the offensive awareness to exploit that lack of coverage on that play.
Celtics trail by 7. Now a timeout called by Boston. The Suns making a switch here. Here's Rondo. And that one's good.
Boy, that was impressive, Clark. He did not hesitate to take the ball right up against the bigger defender.
Boy, I like that aggressive mindset there, Steve. Guys, the Celtics went from being a powerhouse in the East and middle of the pack last season, but they still protected their home court as well as anybody. Easy to find inspiration here with the parquet floor under your shoes and the banners hanging over top.
Celtics trail by 5. Sullinger with a screen for Rondo. Back to Bradley. 6 to shoot. That'll be Boston as it goes out of bounds. Celtics retain possession. You do have to love the parquet floor here, as you said, Clark. Pride certainly a factor last season, as the Celtics were able to finish, Steve, with a 27-13 record here at their home.
And even though the Celtics would end up just as the 7th seed in the East, you knew they would control their home floor just because of their veteran experience, their talent, their coaching. So they were really able to ride that home court into the playoffs.
Goes up off the inbound. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Before his injury last season, it was quite clear that while the rest of the Celtics bunch could still hold their own, this would no doubt be Rondo's team moving forward.
And for Rondo and the Celtics, it actually explored trading him in the past. You always hear the rumors he butted heads with Doc Rivers, and they wondered if he was too individualistic. But now They hand him the keys.
Well, he's a tremendous player, Rondo, and a guy who can take over a game. And there have been times when he's been a little moody. We've seen him bump officials. He's gotten suspended. He's gotten into little tiffs with teammates. But I kind of like that feistiness, too, as long as it's channeled in the right way.
And he's good on the second. 54 seconds left to play here in the third. They set the screen. The dish to Henry. Back to Felton. Clock at 6. Charity stripe shot. That drops. Felton's got 9. There's 31 seconds left in the third. Rondo kicks to Stuckey. Okoye defended by Henry. A nice shot by Okoye. Okoye's got his first 2 points of the night. Suns leading by 4. Felton off the pitch from Henry. Back to Felton. With 1 on the clock. No good on the buzzer beater. The third quarter comes to a close. Suns lead by 4. And time for the short break, and stay right where you are. The fourth quarter is coming up next. Thanks for joining us again as we get set for the fourth quarter. A terrific game so far. Phoenix has gone 3 of 5 from beyond the arc so far tonight. Felton off the pick from Henry. Felton attacking. Out to Nance. He dishes it to Henry. 5 to shoot. The Suns need to get a shot off. Here's Carl. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D. Celtics ball. Celtics trail by 4. Now here's Rondo. Outside Bradley. The feed to Okoye. The shot is off. Excellent D there from Henry. Okoye's gone just 1 for 7 shooting tonight. Parsons against Felton. Nance outside. Shot clock at 6. It's stolen by Bradley. And pushing it up. There's Boston. Bradley's got the ball. Good.
Bradley's got the first field goal of the fourth quarter here for the Celtics.
The drive to the bucket was nice. How about the finger roll finish? Beautiful.
And the Suns call time here. They're in front by 2. 1:53 left in the fourth quarter. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Thanks, Kevin. Alvin Gentry had some words for his team over that last break. We can't let up now. If we stay and make a few plays, we'll be right back in it. His message was clear. Stay the course, Kevin.
A few possessions into the fourth quarter, just over a minute played. Back to Felton. gets the bucket and the foul. It's on Rajon Rondo.
They got to bring the double team on him.
Yeah, I would have expected to see that already, Clark.
Free throw good, Felton.
3-and-1 play right there. Tacks another point onto the lead. And I'll tell you what, guys, he's really showing us a killer instinct.
Now a timeout called by Boston. They're trailing by 5. A minute 42 left in the game. The Suns making a switch here. Dragic is checked in. A minute 42 left in the fourth. Rondo kicks to Bradley. He feeds it to Okoye. The drive by Rondo. He passes to Sullinger. And good. Got the friendly bounce off the right side of the rim.
And they're beginning to fall apart a little bit defensively, especially inside.
Well, that's 4 straight buckets now at the rim.
Rockets the pass to Henry.
Great job. Taking it right at the defense. I like the aggressiveness.
Yeah, he left him no choice but to foul there.
And no good is the first free throw missing for him. We'll see if he can nail the second. Raymond Felton, who's checked in for Phoenix. And he does get the second one. And that gives them a 4-point cushion. The Celtics have gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. Rondo dishes to Bradley. To the middle. Out of bounds. Phoenix will take possession.
That's a poor possession. You just give away the ball with a sloppy pass.
And we're about 2 minutes into the fourth quarter now. Felton with the ball. He's picked up by Rondo. Felton goes in. Inside. Shoots from 12. Henry. Pass to Nance. Witt defended by Sullinger. Back to Nance. We've got 33 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Shot clock at 5. Here's Witt. Hits the jump hook. And the Suns lead by 6.
That's a nice job of getting the ball in the paint and burying the shot. That's exactly how it's done.
The drive by Rondo puts up the baby hook. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. Good on the first, and that brings them within 5. Both good from the line that time. And now they foul and stop the clock.
That's right. No other option but to foul and hope for some misses.
Yep, you got to extend the game here. Try to keep that clock from moving.
It's the first, and that puts them up by 5. Second free throw, no good that time. He really wanted that one.
Urgent possession here, Clark. They need a basket.
No doubt about it, Steve. They need quick, efficient scoring.
And the pass to Parsons. Outside Bradley. Back to Parsons. Takes a three. Misses. So the Suns win it. Both teams played well, but these guys had the edge.
Yeah, I think so. They were just steak knife sharp. Very on top of their game here.
Well said. Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Stephen Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here